Welcome to TwackTalk.
Welcome to TwackTalk.
This is recorded at some point in time in April. We're not going to tell you when, because when it gets published, you won't know. And we're not going to tell you what year. So when you're looking at this sometime in the future, you'll be like, holy crap, they look so young. That must have been like, I don't know.
I thought he was dead.
When he actually is dead. Holy crap.
I'm Pump.
I'm D.
I'm something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. So what's new, guys? Are we tentatively are discussing things that make us grumpy old men? You know, the hey kids, get off our lawn kind of component. But I almost guarantee you, it's not going to go that way. We have this about as planned as me trying to come up with a metaphor of how planned this is, and you just saw how well that went. So, and Pump's face is about to shrink into itself, trying to not bite my head.
I'm going to lead off with something that really irks me. Going back, and this is a lead off of a previous episode when we talked about old games. Going back and trying to play games that I used to have just down and playing them on today's controllers. I'm blaming it on the controllers. I can't play them anymore. I suck.
Yeah, you know, that's getting old. That's the muscle memory not being there anymore.
That's why it's muscle memory. I'm blaming it on the controllers.
You think it's really the controllers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't like today's controllers.
Do you remember the old Atari controller?
Dude, that thing was like a dildo. It was just a shaft that you grasped and moved it around.
See, now you got me wondering how many people. I was going to say, if you were using that as blah blah blah, and then I was like, hold on, I'm pretty sure probably somebody did, and then I don't really want to know the statistics on how many people use that.
I'll let you two hash this one out.
We're leaving you to do the research, so we need you to go polling on the streets. Go out and ask everyone, did you use an Atari 2600 controller as a dildo?
Wow. And if you used ColecoVision, please don't talk to me anymore.
What if they use the little rolly?
Hey, that's why I said don't talk to me anymore.
Is this one even going to make it safe for kids when we publish it?
When have we ever been safe for kids?
Yeah, I thought we ditched that. The acknowledgement that we are not safe for kids. I'm not even sure we're safe for the kids that we have.
So Ryan, it was your suggestion last night to have Old Man Gripe Day.
Yeah,
on your mind?
No, just feeling old, really. I will tell you. So, and I was telling you a little bit before we got on that we had gotten trapped in the airport in Albuquerque, and when you're sitting in there it took us 24 hours to get home, and we were in the airport for all but like 19 of those hours or something. So we're sitting there, and Albuquerque Airport has on a rotation 4 messages every hour. One is welcome to the Albuquerque Airport. 15 minutes later, hi, it's either hi, I'm the mayor or hi, I'm the governor of New Mexico. I forget which one, but so you get that, and it's like, okay, great. So I've heard that. Third one is a human trafficking notice with a phone number. And then the fourth one is a human trafficking notice in Spanish. So the same one you heard in English is in Spanish. And it was broken out about somehow they had it broken out so that every hour you heard all 4, but they were split up. So it can't be every 15 minutes because then you'd have 2 back to back. And so it got to the point where My sister-in-law had the phone number memorized for the human trafficking number. Anytime somebody else in the group, anytime they heard the governor come on, they're like, "Yeah, we get it, we get it." Um, I had reached out to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, what we forgot to tell you," and who's from New Mexico. They're like, "What we forgot to tell you is, the state motto is the land of enchantment." Yeah, no. It's the land of entrapment. And so we're sitting there, and uh, it, yeah, if you're trapped in the Albuquerque airport, if you want to go take a nap because you are going to be stuck there for a really, really long time, go down your baggage claim. Meditation area. There's some areas where you can lay out and just crash for a while. So, but yeah.
So
Say what?
what's your gripe?
My gripe is having to listen to that crap
Oh.
every hour. Uh-oh, we lost E. All right, I'm going to gripe about that. I mean, seriously, he just blanks out on us. I mean, what is this crap? I told you this thing was going to go sideways. We're not going to stay in old man gripes. We're going to.
We're not even boomers, and we're having this kind of difficulty.
Oh, what's he eating today?
I don't know. It's like
That's
he's like good.
That's why he blanked.
This
What was
week's
that?
back of the week is bagels.
Would you like to show us your bagel?
It's what's left of it.
Bagels.
Having this morning. D, what's your gripe? You gotta have a gripe.
Oh man, you know me. I never have a gripe about anyone, about anything, ever.
If there were a deity, you'd be getting hit by
I've seen people like there's certain people that you just cannot that when you see them, it automatically elicits an internal angry reaction. And I think two of those that I know, like for certain, I just cannot stand the sight of them, are Jared Kushner, and the other is Tommy Tuberville. Yes, Senator Tommy Tuberville. I cannot stand the sight of him. He is everything, in my opinion. He is everything, in my opinion, what is wrong with white Southern Christian male population. And I understand if that may alienate me from certain people. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that when people say, well, yep, sounds like Alabama. Sounds like Alabama. And it's not a good thing, folks. And I'm just going to leave the rest of that there.
I don't think he's a sign of necessarily Southern whites. I think what he is he is a sign of the uneducated politicians getting elected, and getting elected based on the fact of personality. It is a cult of personality component, because the same problem exists with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I would like to amend what I said. What I mean is that those that sign up with the whole MAGA idea, that philosophy. I'm not want to make a blanket statement of all Southern white Christians, because I do understand that some are more into the more liberal sects and actually are more for progress. I just wanted to make that distinction.
MAGA is difficult because it's a cult.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as much as they're like, no, we're not. It's like, yeah, you are. If you can't even listen to an opposing argument without discussing it to any extent, without either getting mad or saying or name calling, you're sucked in. You have no interest of. So yeah, I mean, they're cultish.
So
But-
since we were kind of going around about gripes, I'm going to kind of pick up on the whole Tommy Tuberville thing. Once upon a time ago, I was in graduate school to get my master's in history. What a lot of people don't know is that I didn't finish that master's. I actually got to the orals, and they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And one of the questions was the Nazi Party evil? And part of my answer, which kind of confounded them, was we were trying to disassociate good and evil from right and wrong and facts, trying to take away the supernatural. And I said they were opportunists. They found something that they could run on, have easy victories, and exploit the people. And that's something that I see a lot of the politicians doing. We can get into MAGA, we can get into Tommy Tuberville. How many people, since I still live down here in Alabama, how many flyers am I getting in the mail saying that so-and-so is a Trump conservative? Well, they're using that to ride that wave. They're using that name, thinking that people are going to say, oh, if I associate this person with that, I'm going to go ahead and elect him. It's opportunism.
Populism. That yeah.
Yeah. So a gripe of mine is opportunists, people that don't necessarily have a set core of beliefs, but will just do whatever's going to get them in the door because they'll go ahead and spout the mantra.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Actually, speaking of populist, do we know anything about the Orban election in Hungary?
I haven't seen any results as of yet.
Yeah, that's
I do know that Vance's visit helped the opposing party.
that's an interesting story. I've been following that, the Hungary, what's going on over there. No, I didn't mean to cut you guys off in conversation, but I was like thinking about something else that happened this week that's really got me wanting to ask more questions, particularly the whole First Lady speech there.
Isn't that an interesting one?
I was like, wow, it's kind of like when a murderer,
don't look over here. I didn't bury the body there.
It's like what? It's like don't poke the bear. It's kind of like wow, this is weird. Why is she drawing attention back to this? I thought this is what they were trying to stay away from. Now I have more questions.
Because something is or will drop. That is where it's coming from. The worst part is now everybody's like, all right, what are we missing that they know about that is going to be out here? So she's highlighted it.
and see what sparked conspiracy theories of is she breaking with Trump and the whole party line? Is she basically trying to set them up? There's a conspiracy theory of that.
You want to talk about an opportunist? There's nothing that has been indicated that doesn't indicate that she's an opportunist.
Well, her whole statement was a lie.
Yeah, an obvious one.
The whole thing was
immediately
get it into my
immediately fact checked.
I love we were never friends, and it's like, here's a picture of you kissing him on the cheek. Here's a picture of you hanging out with him and hugging him and everything else. It's like,
here's all your emails.
Yeah. Here's your email to Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they're saying part of that is apparently a fashion designer. I don't know if you guys followed this part. Apparently a fashion designer that was kind of her agent. He's having a custody battle with his ex, and he was trying to get her deported, and basically she's now blackmailing Melania, saying, hey, if I'm being deported, then I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans. Don't forget who you're messing with.
I saw that they had referenced that, but I didn't connect that was that might have been the trigger.
Yeah, and apparently like hours before that whole speech that Melania came out and gave was basically that person putting on a Twitter or X or whatever it was, basically saying it's coming. I'm going to go ahead and release stuff.
Well, the funny thing is, I was watching one of the pundits out there, and they're like, the hilarious part about this speech is you can tell that her speechwriters didn't prep her, meaning they didn't have enough. They either didn't have enough time or she wasn't willing to be prepped. Considering her, from what I do understand, I think she would have been willing to be prepped because unlike Trump, she wants to tell people what to do, but she's not a complete idiot or so full of herself that she thinks she can do anything. But they're like, you can tell as she's stumbling over words, as she's using incorrect words, and she's reading right from it instead of having it look like it's been prepared, like she understood what was in it. They wrote it and just threw it in front of her, and she ran out and did it to the point where apparently nobody else in the rest of the public sphere on the MAGA side knew what she was up to or doing. So that would probably make sense if there was going to be something dropping. But and the crazy thing is with everything going on, like with Iran, and we still don't have answers on Epstein. We don't have and they're the ones who made a big deal out of the whole thing. It's not like the left went, hey, Epstein's a big deal. They made a big deal out of it. And then when they wouldn't release it, the left went, well, now you're showing that there's something there because you're not willing to release it. So you chased that car, you caught it. Now we're going to continue pursuing it after you caught that car. So you guys know that analogy, right? The dog that caught the car.
It's like catching its tail or something.
No, so they used it a lot, especially because it was what the Republicans actually did with the abortion issue, that they created this sphere of, hey, this is a major political topic and this is the thing we're going after and everything else. Well, a dog chasing a car is all fine and good until the dog catches the car. What the hell's a dog going to do with the car once it catches it? It has no clue. It's probably going to get run over, but it's pursuing the car as an objective. And that was kind of what the argument was with the abortion thing, is they chased it and they were chasing it really well. Well, then they got what they wanted. They got Roe versus Wade effectively overthrown and all the things that have come with it. Well, all the negative feedback that came with it too. And I mean, there's still a very large anger at the Republican Party just based on the overthrow of Roe versus Wade. So they got their car. They got run over by it. And they didn't know what to do with it once they caught it. The same can be said with the Epstein thing. They were chasing this as oh, look how bad the Democrats are. And then they are in a situation right now where they've kind of effectively caught the car because all the other dogs are now in on the hunt and they can't stop the hunt. They want to try and stop the hunt, but they can't. So, I mean, we'll see what comes out of it. We've been waiting to see what comes out of it for months now, so I'm not holding my breath anytime soon. Probably Trump's going to stroke out before we actually get an answer.
Speaking of stroking out,
are we?
How about the Atari controllers?
Are we going back to the Atari controller?
I'm thinking about they showed footage of Mitch McConnell being led away from the Senate chamber by 2 or 3 freaking handlers, guiding him, almost having to pick him up and levitate him off the ground to get him.
Kind of been that way for a while.
Because he's this frozen freaking he's not.
It's like something they wheel out on The Simpsons or something.
Yeah, that's the way he looks, and it's why do we deal with this? This is something that needs to be addressed in the future.
I think baby boomers are showing to us the exact reason we need term limits.
Yes,
Supreme Court and in Congress, and maybe even with the presidency. Just, hey, I'm sorry if you're over. You can't be too young to be president. Well, all right. If you're going to be over 75 at the beginning of your term, sorry, no go. something like that. But yeah, I'm kind of all for doing 12 years for Supreme Court, for House, and for Senate. You got 12 years. If you can't get your job done within that time period, if you can't make the change, if you can't represent your generation within that time period, get out. For the courts, I actually am also for, if you have to show that your decisions were supported by the higher level of courts over time to be elevated to the next level. So, like, actually make it as if we're going to treat it like a career progression, you have to start at the lowest end and work your way up, so that we know that you understand all the laws of the land, and not just put like some college professor in who doesn't. Our laws are so complex now compared to what they were when, James Madison was president. And there's 200 plus years of tradition to build on, which they're ignoring right now. But part of that may be just who we're putting in there. So how do we fix all this? I also think senators and representatives for the states should be paid by the states, not by the federal government.
Interesting.
So Alabama gets to determine how much they're paying their senators and how much their representatives, and they get to determine whether or not they're stealing money from their state. Go that route. If we really want to go with people being more loyal to their states, if that's who's paying you, that's where your loyalty is going to be. So,
well, since we're surprisingly on a political topic at the moment,
us surprising? Never.
You guys have seen where we're dismantling the Forestry Commission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's another thing that sent my blood pressure through the freaking roof this week. I was like, because wasn't that like created by Benjamin Harrison?
Sure. I would have thought maybe Roosevelt.
It was. I think I want to say it was Benjamin Harrison. One of those presidents was like a very hardcore, like big thing into like forestry and national parks, even before Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Even before him, it's probably around like the Garfield, Benjamin Harrison, I want to say era.
Garfield didn't last very long, so I don't know if you can really.
I know it is one thing.
He did one thing. He got shot.
I'm trying to say that generation,
Yeah.
But yeah, he created it, and he just destroyed one of the last good things.
The Forest Reserve Act of 1891.
Who's president then?
But it actually 1905 is when the first forester was put in by Theodore Roosevelt. So technically it was another branch of the Bureau of Forestry going back to 1891. It was part of the Department of Interior.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became kind of its own kind of thing under Teddy Roosevelt.
Who was the president in 1891?
President in 1891. Who signed off on this law? Looks like holy crap. D, you are an interesting soul on that one. It was Benjamin Harrison.
Ding, 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 ding. A winner is you.
See, people get uncomfortable when I bring this up, but I'm not wrong.
I've just never had Benjamin Harrison be brought up in a conversation and actually be the correct answer.
Because I knew that because he pretty much cashed in on Benjamin Harrison's work, and that's what helped him get elected to the president. You know what I mean? That helped him. It's kind of like what Trump tries to do with Obama's policies. Obama does the work, and Trump tries to cash in and be like, "Oh, it was my idea." No, it wasn't.
For all viewers out there, if you would like to send Benjamin Harrison biographies to D, because he is apparently hugely into Benjamin Harrison, please send it to P.O. Box 11111 at Detroit, Michigan. Care of D.
So the Forestry Commission being out, I'm wondering, when are we going to get some really good Smokey the Bear, like unemployed, like only signs needing work and stuff? Only you could have prevented forest fires.
No. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. There was one that popped up on, and I want to say it was the Alt National Parks Facebook group posted one where it was with the destruction of the Forestry Service. It really is true. Only you can stop forest fires because I'm out, or something like that. And it was Smokey the Bear, because it's just like, we're done, man. I mean, the big thing is, it's not like those forests are going to go away. It's what's going to end up going away is the old growth forest that has been around. I mean, it's going to open it up that they can do logging rights and stuff like that. The worst part about it is, for most intents and purposes, I mean, logging is kind of done except for home building. I mean, paper manufacturing has tanked. It might be like going after mineral rights if there's mineral rights in those forests that they want to do mining for it. But I mean, realistically,
not to mention, this is going to negatively impact my friends in the Pacific Northwest, because a lot of, just the forest, is not going to be, well, that's not, it's not important anymore, I guess.
Well, it depends on how they do it. If the Forestry Services, I had heard some talk that they were talking about handing some of the rights and responsibilities over to the states. And you can't tell me that, Washington State, Oregon, California, probably to a large extent Montana and Wyoming aren't going to actually push back and go, we need to keep these woods. They may cut some of it out and allow it to go, but I would be very surprised if it's, especially the Pacific Northwest, if they let loose. A state that I would worry about is a state like Alabama, who, I'm not very confident in the politicians. West Virginia, who's desperate for mining, even though mining is gone. I mean, unless we find rare earth elements here, which is unlikely, from what I understand, mining's kind of a dumb thing. I mean, what are you getting? You're getting gravel, you're getting cutting up for marble for countertops and crap like that. But coal's kind of a dead art, and has been, and it just refuses to make that final nail in the coffin to die. So there's a lot that's bad about it. Hopefully they can't do so much damage before somebody can get to recover on it. It would be very hard for them to clear cut all of it with legal action out there trying to prevent preservation of the forest within the next 3 years. They may get little swaths of it, but very much it's going to be protesters out there. And you know what? Second Amendment, militias going out and protecting our forests. If it really comes down to Smokey the Bear being us going out and protecting our forests from corporate interests taking away our forests. Hey, it worked with the ranchers who were saying that they could use the federal land out in God, what was that? California, Utah, Nevada, something like that. Do you guys remember what I was talking about?
Well, I think it was out in Spokane.
Was it out that way?
Spokane or like an east side. It was like the eastern part of either Washington or Oregon.
The Bundy standoff is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Where was that?
I want to say Spokane.
It was Nevada, actually.
Oh,
Bunkerville, Nevada.
Oops, my bad.
No. I mean, I knew it was out that way, but didn't they end up going it was after that. Didn't they go and grab? Yeah, no, you are right, because so there was the Bundy standoff in Nevada in 2014, or prior to that. In 2016, they went up to Portland and went to the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, and they basically trashed the refuge when they were camping out there as armed vigilantes against the Bureau of Land Management. But you know, the right tends to think that this is only something that they do. And have we forgotten all the weirdo hippies in the 60s who were climbing up trees, preventing trees from getting cut down? And I mean, not that we were alive for that, but I mean, we've heard the stories.
Chain themselves to trees, yeah.
Did you guys ever see the thing where it's the people chain themselves to the turnstile door?
Yeah.
And I forget what movie or show it was in. They chain themselves to it, and the person's like, okay, and they just walk in, and so the people are getting rotated.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh man. Make sure you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm convinced all this crap that's going on right now is where I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were doom and gloom that it's like, man, it's always 2 steps back, and I'm like, no, it's 1 step back, 2 steps forward. We haven't, like, all the things that were fought for and everything else are not gone. They've been suspended. I mean, even Roe versus Wade. What is that determined? That determined and showed to the generation that's coming up after us, you can't depend on the courts to hold to the law that they set when they can change it. And we should have known this. I mean, the Dred Scott decision was not a one-off thing where it's like, oh, well, this is a permanent law. No, they changed their mind on it within 15 years or less. I forget what the actual time frame was. But, I mean, admittedly, the Civil War helped change that mind. But, I mean, they did change their mind. And Roe versus Wade lasted, 30 years? 40 years? And they changed their mind on it. Now you just need to enact it as law. Like, Congress needs to do something. They need to enshrine it as law, and that's what they should have done in the first 6 months of Biden's presidency. That should have been one of the, if they were really that concerned about it, that's what they should have done at that point in time. Anything that they thought that the courts would not hold to because of who was on there, pass it as law. Just get it done. And they did. And so, yeah, so now we're dealing with it. Now, that may have also been a Democrats looking at it going, oh, man, we caught the car kind of problem. Now that we've done this, we're going to get blamed for it forever. But that's a whole nother argument. Stand up for your morals, peeps. We elect you for a reason.
What I've learned, definitely, especially within the last few months, is never underestimate the stubbornness of the willfully ignorant.
Are you referencing us again?
No. Actually, it's the whole bit with this conflict over in Iran. Basically, I was told by someone in my family down south that, oh, well, he knows what he's doing. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And they would say, I said, he does not know what he's doing in the Strait of Hormuz. And then one of them actually had the nerve to ask me, oh, yeah, well, how would you know? You ever been through there? I said, well, over a 10-year period, I've been in and out of the Strait of Hormuz 8 times. I even actually plotted the track to get through the Strait of Hormuz, both in and out. So, yeah, I am very familiar with the path. And when I say that because that little piece of land there that juts out, and they have that very narrow turn. If you are a warship or a tanker or an aircraft carrier, you are a sitting duck. You're going to get hit. And when I say that this is not going to end well, it's like they look at me, like, oh, I'm just speaking negatively. No, I'm being practical. Okay. I was actually there. I've seen it. And you have to stay X amount of nautical miles away from Iranian coastal waters because you don't want to incite an incident. And it's a very narrow passage. It's like, there's not a lot of room, for you to like get around a vessel.
Is that Saudi Arabia or is that Oman? I thought it was Oman. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, that little peak is Oman because Dubai.
Yeah, that little.
Dubai's right below it.
Just the tip.
Yeah,
just a tip. The only reason I know that is because we.
You're wrong for that.
Before all this crap started, we flew a guy for a medevac to Dubai, so I had to look at a lot of maps, and I was like, Oman, isn't it Oman that's up that way? Because we're trying to figure out how to get them out. Because hey, let's throw missiles right at everybody while they're there, dumbasses. Anyway, sorry, not to detract.
And when it's like I'm like trying to explain to them, I'm like, look, I don't know if they thought, if you had Tommy Tuberville perhaps in those security meetings going, Iraq, Iran, same thing. No, it's not.
No.
It's definitely not the same thing. You're dealing with a very sophisticated infrastructure. They have technology. They are very competent. And when I say they will fight, and you combine that with religious fanaticism, that makes a really kind of a dangerous cocktail,
The third world country, they're actually quite educated.
Yes. So
are they technically even third world? I think they're.
Oh no! Like this is like
the common misconception will be Middle East. It's got to be third world unless it's Israel.
I mean, technically, it was the old word for them was Persia.
Yeah. And
a lot of science definitely came out of that region.
Yeah.
So I mean, this idea that they are beneath us is absurd. Like a huge, like colossal, ignorant error. You know what I mean? Like that's why that's why when I woke up and I saw that the attack was on, I'm like, my first thought was, why didn't somebody take the keys from Grandpa?
But okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
And I think maybe some people were about to, and that's why they've been released.
The keys from Grandpa were taken away from him. So it's been pretty clear that Netanyahu had a target. He had an opportunity to cut the head off the snake. And so he was going for it no matter what. That was what the message apparently that came through from all the reporting that I've seen. The reporting was they were going to do it. And it was either we get in on the ground floor or we deal with the retaliatory attacks. So instead of our government with our might turning around to the Israelis and saying, don't do it, and trying to stop it, they went, well, it's inevitable. We're going to have to deal with it. Therefore, we're going to go in and we're going to help do as much damage as possible and hopefully prevent as much damage in return. I think the expectation was, with the example of the missile attacks on Iran last year against the nuclear enrichment and the quick execution on Venezuela, that the assumption that, American power is so strong, which it is, but it doesn't, as we've seen with Russia, it doesn't matter how big your military is. If you're going into a situation that isn't good, they can wear you down. And we're in a situation where if we put boots on the ground, we're in a bad spot. Well, they never hoped or expected to get to this part. They expected to do their decapitation attack, lob a couple more missiles to the point where the Iranians back down, and then go, hey, look, we got victory, and the Iranians aren't playing that game. Honestly, have you guys seen any of their propaganda that they've been doing with the Legos? Well,
Legos
apparently,
and AI,
yeah, and apparently the Chinese are getting in on it now too. They know that, all right, the population here is not keen on any of this, and they've gotten us into it. And to be honest, in many ways, it benefits the Iranians to drag this out for longer, to make us look worse, to put us in more dire straits, and actually to put more pressure on Trump to get rid of him. He's effectively put himself in a position where there's going to be more and more resistance building because nobody wanted this.
Hey, I have something I'd like to insert here. And even though this could probably be explored,
Atari joystick.
no. What I'm saying is that what if, and I know this could be used on a satellite show called Kayfabe Grib, what if the Iron Sheik had lived and had witnessed everything that was going down? What kind of things would he have to say?
Oh, I'm sure it'd be full of expletives.
Yes. I'm sure. You know what? Oh, my goodness.
He'd probably be all over Howard Stern, to be honest.
He would probably be trending really everywhere, because how many Iranian pro wrestlers who wrestled for the U.S. Olympic team won the silver medal, you know what I mean, will speak out against the administration. I think he definitely would.
Yeah.
But would he speak out against their administration? I mean, if he was part of the group of Iranians that came over post fall of the Shah,
Which he was.
There was a huge, the couples that I have run into and spoken to in my life have had humongous resentment and anger against the current Iranian.
Because wasn't he was propped up by the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
He was put into power by the United States.
Yeah.
Because we helped overthrow the original government that was put in.
From what I understand, the British and the Americans basically took their oil, said, no, you can't have your own oil. We're gonna put this British petroleum company in here, BP, and that's from what I understand, this is what started all of this.
Oh, it's been all resource management forever. Yeah, it
basically been stealing their resources, not allowing access to their resources.
So one of the things I found out when we were talking about first world, second world, all right, all right, this is old man grumbling component. This is something we need to, we knew it was coming back around eventually. All right, we need to get, technically Iran is third world, but not because of why we think it's third world. It's third world because first world, second world, and third world are all derivatives of the Cold War. First world was U.S. allied. Second world was Soviet allied. Third world was non-allied. Well, that doesn't really exist anymore. It's now developed, near developing, or undeveloped. And Iran is considered a near developed nation. So I think as we were taught, first world was, economically developed, and then, second world was
like
near
air conditioning, and
what we would normally have considered second world, which realistically was a political commentary, not a economic commentary, but we paralleled it to economic because that's kind of how we were taught. So interesting little grumbling on that, because damn it, can't we just agree on a universal idea on what things are? We got to deal with political alignments. We are such children of the Cold War, man. And that's the funny thing is, like, how much stuff are we still dealing with that's left over from, the end of World War II?
Bye.